Oh, hi, everybody. I'm David Pakman. It's great to see you. I'm here from CoinFund. We're one of the earliest crypto-native investing teams. We do seed and venture and liquid investing in crypto. We've been doing it since 2015. And Jody asks me to come tell you a little story about where we are in the world of NFTs, what's going on. And I'm a data person, so I'm going to try quickly to roll through a bunch of data and maybe have it tell you a little bit of a story about what's going on with NFTs. Here we go. OK. First, NFTs, we know, are property rights for intellectual property. They take us from a world where we used to be able to have we could always have scarce physical goods, but then things went digital on Web 2, and nothing could be scarce. We have an abundance of everything. Everything's copyable. So you can't own anything digital in Web 2, which is why we had to create streaming models for all of our intellectual property. You have to subscribe to music, subscribe to video, and when you stop paying, you no longer have access. You don't own anything. But then blockchains came, and NFTs were built on top of them, and those allow us to once again have scarcity, but this time own physical goods. So we can now own digital goods. So we can now own digital goods. And how did that go? Well, in the several years since they were introduced, more than 10 million people spent more than $50 billion buying either primary issuance or secondary trading of NFTs. This makes NFTs the most successful consumer product since the introduction of the smartphone. I mean, it honestly couldn't have gone any better. And people buy them for many different reasons, and there are many different types. So I'm going to show you some data about which ones have shown evidence of commercial success and which ones still have a lot of promise but haven't quite reached their potential. First, I would argue to you that NFTs hit a tipping point in 2021 when Saturday Night Live did their send-up of NFTs. Now, we're very good in crypto of picking the worst possible names for our technology, the least consumer-friendly names we can come up with, and NFTs are certainly one of those, but it is what it is. And that's why you end up getting an Adam Sandler skit on non-fungible tokens. So the world was captivated by the idea of them, but actually only a small number of people bought them, about 10 million or so. Very small compared to the 4 or 4.5 billion or so people on the internet. But where are we now? Well, I'm sorry to say you are here. We're in the trough of disillusionment. Now, if you're familiar with this Gartner hype cycle, it predicts the adoption phases of technology. And it's been doing it for decades, and it generally is pretty right. For important technologies, they tend to get sort of blown out of proportion when they're first introduced. This is true of both business and enterprise technologies and consumer technologies. And NFTs certainly had their ebullient moment in 2021 and into 2022. But then, like most things in tech, they've crashed, and we're at volumes now that are down more than 90% from the peak in 2021. But that doesn't mean it's over, and it doesn't mean it's a fad. And the media tends to get this wrong over and over again when analyzing technology because they tend not to look at it across the history of the way tech has been adopted. So I'm here to tell you it's OK that we're down. In fact, we were predicted to be down, and we will be up again, too. I can't tell you over what pace adoption will increase, and I can't tell you exactly what numbers it will hit. But I have high confidence that the core innovation of NFTs is just too big a deal for it not to be hundreds of billions or even trillions of dollars. If you take all of intellectual property and you allow it to be sold in a scarce way and let it be priced to the market globally and instantaneously, it's by definition a many trillion-dollar market. So I have high conviction that you're all onto something, and I'm glad you're here. So where are we seeing activity? Well, the top 4 categories, sort of loosely defined, I think are fair mentions of the places that we've seen adoption. We've certainly seen digital art, creating digital visual identity or creativity. We've seen collectibles, and I would put in that category profile pictures and the 10K collections. We've certainly seen sports NFTs do quite well, and you're going to hear from a great panel from the NFL about how that's gone. And we've seen some activity around the selling of land and avatars and other components of the metaverse. Maybe even you'd throw in between some of these categories game items. But where have we heard a lot of noise but haven't really seen a lot of activity? Digital fashion and avatars, small amount of purchases there so far. Music, a lot of experimentation, not a lot of consumer adoption there yet. And real-world NFTs, where the NFT corresponds to a physical item in the real world, a digital twin of a physical item, or maybe even fractionalized ownership of physical goods. Haven't really seen a lot of that yet, but lots of promise. So here's just a quick snapshot on all-time sales. This chart's about 30 days old now, unfortunately, of where we have seen the biggest NFT sales. And no surprise to any of you, again, over the history of NFTs, we have Axie at the top with more than $4 billion of sales, and we have Bored Apes and the other 10K collections. And so not too surprising, we have NBA Top Shot up there in sports, and So Rare as well with their soccer NFT products. But take a look at not just the total sales volumes, but the number of buyers. And here you'll see that the gaming NFTs are the ones that attract the largest number of users compared to like the digital art and profile picture and collections. Now, some of that is by definition. If you're only selling 10,000 NFTs in a collection, then you can only have at most 10,000 owners, right? So they're limited in design by their SKU count. But my point in telling you this is I have high confidence in the gaming sector for NFTs because they tend to attract the most number of users. Gaming is one of the pure primitives of why the internet is successful. A significant amount of time on casual and console and online and PC games and multiplayer games. And so we will see NFTs in the gaming category probably attract, for quite some time, the largest number of owners. Which blockchains are we building NFTs on? Well, ETH, of course, is dominant, but quite a few others are credible. This is the top 10 blockchains on which NFTs have been sold. And my point in telling you this is if you are a developer or an NFT creator and you are launching on something other than Ethereum, you are not alone. And we have a lot of improvements coming in wallets and cross-chain messaging and cross-chain liquidity that will let your users move more seamlessly an NFT bought on one chain to one on another. This is critical in my mind. We must abstract away blockchains from users. There's no reason for them to have to know sort of like what operating system their digital item is built or sitting on. And this will happen. It may take a little bit more time, but we want to be able to seamlessly move NFTs across chains, and I think that's coming. One of the things that excites me the most about NFTs are dynamic NFTs. These are NFTs that change over time or improve. The Bored Ape Yacht Club platform launched these dynamic NFTs and did $561 million of sales in the first 24 hours. These were land NFTs that take on properties of the owner and other attributes of the game. This is awesome. There's a great profile in the block, I think, yesterday, all about all the dynamic NFT projects. We will see NFTs change over time, gives you more reason to hold them. One of the features I love is an NFT that improves over time, provided it stays with the same address. That is encouraging you to keep and not trade away your NFTs. Jody mentioned Nike. They, along with their Artifact product, launched the Clone X collab with Murakami. They had 20,000 units. They've done $845 million of sales, custom avatars and wearable robes with a physical tie-in. Extraordinarily successful. Digital fashion, Nike's been leading here too. You can see a significant amount of the blue here, which is all Nike sales, has dominated in the digital fashion category. And Phygital. These are NFTs that have something corresponding in the real world. Also, we've seen the Artifact product have about 70% of all the secondary trades on Phygital. This is like, you buy a physical pair of sneakers. Hope you like my J's, everyone. My daughter picked them out for me. And you get your NFT associated with them, and so those two can track each other and provide lineage and ownership. So I would say some early evidence of Phygital success. The thing that excites me the most about NFTs is the amount of money people are willing to spend on a per-user basis for NFT collections. Look at the ARPU. I've seen this number as low as $800. This is revenue spent per year, dollars spent per year by an individual on an NFT collection. I've seen it as low as $800 and as high as $4,000. This compares unbelievably favorably well with things like Netflix, $180 per year, or Spotify, $60 per year. So the consumers who are adopting NFTs today are spending big. However, one of the things that pollutes the numbers are wash trading, where we were encouraged to move an NFT from ourself to ourself across 2 different wallet addresses so that we could be participate in the incentives and airdrops that were forthcoming from marketplaces and other tokens. Unfortunately, I think this number has significantly polluted the total numbers. I think somewhere between 20 and maybe $22 billion of the total $50 billion of NFT sales that I quoted to you before may be due to wash trading. So you probably have to cut your estimates of how big the NFT market is, maybe by half or 40%. I would do that when you think about it. It's still an enormously successful product category, but this wash trading has been is being filtered out of a significant number of marketplaces and has been a bug in the NFT system. I believe NFTs are just the beginning. This is a chart showing the number of active projects in the space. And because of conferences like this, because of communities like this, and because of the catalysts like Amazon entering the space and some of the largest brands and IP owners like Disney coming into the space, I think we'll see an explosion and a revival in NFT activity and sales. So how did I do? Did I get it all in 9 minutes, Jody? Did I do all right?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. Thanks all for listening. I've got some bad news for you. I'm going to be here as your MC for the next few hours, so I get to introduce and pull off anyone who speaks too long. So I'm going to set the example by saying thank you all so much for attending. I hope you have a great couple days here. Enjoy NFT NYC. Thank you.